really make that big of an imprint with the Bills? Like, it's one season. He made a few plays. He didn't wear shoes a lot.
Right.
But I don't know. It's 1 year.
I think that's just the stuff you say, I think.
Yeah.
Is what that
I mean, I can appreciate that they really liked him.
Sure.
But
everyone, team sports love the guys who do the dirty work. Right?
And they do it in a fun way.
Right. But, hockey teams love the enforcers. They're out there battling for you. If you're a receiver and you're run blocking special teams guy, you're going to be a dude. This is a part of the thinking that got me to the Jackson Hawes touchdown idea against Miami. He's getting a lot of run for doing the dirty work. They're going to reward him. They're going to give him a play. And it worked.
It did. With us now on the Wester Hotline, the leading content creator in fantasy football. His ship-chasing empire already had been the industry leader and has somehow maintained that distinction despite, hiring me about a year ago. Pete Overzet. His face would be on Mount Rushmore of fantasy content if there were only one face. How's that? Pete, meet Bulldog. Hi, Pete.
Hey, nice to be joining you here. I knew I was in the right place when I was hearing Jackson Hawes conversation, so I found my people.
Oh, baby. No kidding. And, we're not touts, but 3 weeks in a row we have nailed the obscure tight end that your friends have never heard of scoring touchdowns on Thursday night. Hawes, A.J. Barner, Tonjes, Hawes couldn't do this, Bulldog, but those two guys even had They could even score the first touchdown
of the game, right?
So we're on a little bit of a roll there.
All right, now you just got to hope that it's one Austin Hooper doing it on Sunday night against you guys.
Right. There was a time...
No, we're restricted to Thursdays, Pete.
Oh, that's right. We only do Thursdays. There was
magic.
There was a time a year or two ago where we had a short conversation, and Mike Leone, I think, was involved about your coming up from Foxborough for a Patriots game. I kind of think this is the one to do. It's the last year of the stadium. No pressure or anything. It's late notice. But the Bills have these fancy whiteout uniforms, and the Patriots are kind of interesting right now. Would you agree?
I think they're very interesting, and not to mention you kind of have the Spider-Man meme thing with Josh Allen and Drake Maye, where Drake Maye, he's starting to flash the tools of looking like a burgeoning Josh Allen there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really kind of interesting showcase for Maye and saying like, hey, are you ready to be in this conversation as one of the next great quarterbacks in the league, or are you dealing with such poor weaponry and dysfunction in New England that it's going to take another year or two to materialize?
What's a tougher puzzle, Pete? Bills pass catchers or Patriots running backs? Or is the answer just pretty much no across the board?
Well, I mean, I think it's Bills pass catchers or Patriots pass catchers, because those are both pretty confusing riddles. With running back eventually.
Hang on. We're kind of losing you here, Pete. Let me see if I can... Hang on a second. Let me see if we can just sort of off and on and make this sound better. What did I do?
I think Zach is...
We're calling you back.
Yeah, I think we're calling you back.
All right. Well, for you, like Stevenson, Henderson, not Gibson, but do you want to start either Stevenson or Henderson if you have a...
We now have Henderson on our bench because he wasn't getting it, so I don't know if it's time to make that switch again.
Pete, sorry, we lost you there. You were saying.
Yeah, no. I was just saying, I think we're going to get Henderson with a pretty big role here within the next few weeks, but they've just been so stubborn with it at this point. But eventually they're going to realize he's their only legitimate playmaker on offense and just be forced to give him 15-plus touches a game.
How do you like Pete dropping off? Role reversal here on WGR is usually me. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog on WGR. Thoughts on the Bills this year, and really James Cook. Like, Allen is still cooking, but you're not getting the big numbers here, at least yet. Somewhat shades of last year. Cook won't quit though.
Yeah, and to me, like, the biggest difference isn't necessarily like Josh Allen's, stuff at the goal line, because that was always the worry of him stealing the touchdowns. It's more that they're not using the Ty Johnson and Ray Davis stuff as much. I mean, You guys would know better than me, but like down the playoffs, we were getting a lot of Ty Johnson. Ray Davis was kind of flashing, and then you're like, holy cow, James Cook could be getting squeezed in all these different directions, which is why he was going in the fourth round of fantasy drafts instead of the first round. I think if we knew how big this role was going to be, I think everyone would have gladly have taken him in the second round.
Yeah, I would love to know inside the Bills. Their coordinator, Joe Brady, did talk today, or not today, this week, about needing to get Davis more involved. And I would think that they would be mindful of overtaxing Cook. He is not a big workhorse type body. So I think you want to be careful there. And you're right. Davis has been a ghost. I feel like there is a week coming here where it doesn't necessarily eat into Cook's touchdowns, but there's a week coming, I don't know when it's going to happen, where Davis gets 10 carries, because it just has not happened yet this year.
Yeah, you would think so. And like you said, like, Bills have aspirations to play deep into January. You would want to make sure that Cook's healthy and stuff. But man, if you got James Cook on your fantasy team right now, I'm sure no complaints with how things are transpiring.
How about Kincaid at this point? He has scored each week. There's not been, not each week, but he has scored in each home game. That's what it is. It's not big volume yet. Although I think the targets per route run stuff is good on him this year, but he's getting in the end zone. He's got 3 touchdowns. He only had 2 his rookie year.
Yeah, I think like where we're at with Kincaid now, and where we were drafting him in fantasy, like, he's paying off that price tag, right? You get a tight end tied to an elite quarterback, an elite offense, scoring touchdowns. Like, what more could you want? I think there's just the lingering residue of like, this was a guy we had such high hopes for, of being like the next volume monster, like early career Hawkinson, these guys that step in and just command 8 to 9 targets a game, and that's just clearly not happening. So I think that disappointment just kind of stems from his early career expectations, but I think he's paying off his draft costs right now.
With Peter Overzet, you might have seen Pete as part of the YouTube coverage for the game in Brazil. He was on the panel for that, which was really cool to see. How did you end up with tight end this year? Like, did you have a big strategy? I ended up with a lot of Bowers and McBride up top, and I don't feel great about that. I mean, we don't even know if Bowers will play this week. McBride's been okay, but not necessarily paying off the early price. Tucker Kraft in the middle, Ferguson in the middle, even Kincaid, like you talked about. I mean, there have been some wins there. Do you feel good about how you played it, if you played it a certain way?
No, I don't feel good, Mike.
No.
It's a sore subject. You know that across our ship-chasing portfolio, where we have a lot of these high-stakes teams, we have way too much Brock Bowers. As it was happening, I was saying, like, good Lord, this guy has to stay healthy. And guess what? He didn't stay healthy. He's been playing with a brace. This week, the injury seemed to get even worse, and he wasn't practicing. He's technically questionable, but he's not himself right now. And he was drafted. We were drafting him in the first round of these tight end premium leagues, where, granted, you do get 1.5 points for it. But again, you were hoping for him to be this guy that was getting 8, 9, 10 targets a game. And right now he's just looking like any other tight end out there. And that was not the thesis of the play. So yeah, like you said, guys like Tucker Kraft and Ferguson have absolutely smashed their ADP. So I am not feeling good whatsoever about my heaps of Brock Bowers in fantasy.
Early first even in those leagues. And I was, I guess, spared from doing it again in my draft with you when the group voted Jahmyr Gibbs. And that looks pretty good. I mean, some of these first-round picks do not look good at all, and maybe he's even one. But, the receivers at the end of the first round that have kind of tanked a little bit, and even, the second round as well. But Gibbs looks like a hit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's even, there was a little worry. I think Gibbs would have been like the 101, 102 in most drafts, if not. Hey, they're going to still use Montgomery a little bit. They're still going to give him some of those goal line carries. But he is just so explosive. And this team, every week, this week they're projected to score 30 points. It's like David Montgomery can score a TD. Jahmyr Gibbs can score a TD. There's plenty to go around for everyone. Similar to the Bills last week when they have a 30-point team total versus the Saints.
Even the Patriots pulled that off last week in their game.
Yeah.
You had a few games last week where the touchdown saved you. Like Henderson would have been one if you started him. You were going to ask.
Any reluctance on putting Daniels right back in? If you've been living okay without him playing, because coming back from an injury, him and like whatever the parts around him, do you think full speed ahead on Washington?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's more concerning to me is the parts around him, like you mentioned. But with Daniels himself, I feel like they've been playing this pretty cautious. So if the team says he's good to go, like, I'm going to trust them. Like, our interests are very much aligned. The committers do not want him getting hurt this early in the season. So if they say he's ready to go, like, yeah, I'm starting him. I think he's, a top 3, top 4 quarterback play. But I am concerned in, like, Debo has been missing some practice time. I don't think Terry McLaurin's going to play. But Daniels is the type of guy that he's the guy that makes Olamide Zaccheaus look good. He's the guy that makes Luke McCaffrey look good. So I think he's going to be fine, but I don't love that Debo's been on the injury report this week.
Is it a Jalen Lane opportunity? No McLaurin, no Noah Brown, if it matters. Maybe.
Yeah, I like Jalen Lane a lot. I mean, him and Luke McCaffrey seem to be kind of splitting. The Luke McCaffrey usage has been slightly better, I think, if you're trying to do a dart. But I think Lane is still a really intriguing stash. Like, if you could see his role increasing as the season progresses, especially if McLaurin continues to miss time.
Couple more for Pete Overzet. We've been starting to get trade deadline calls. It's a month away, but look, they're 4-0, the Bills, and they might end up for another year sort of cakewalking, if that's a word, to the AFC East. How do you win a championship for once? And so we're starting to get calls like, who do you guys want? I wonder what DJ Moore is. I'm not thinking that the Bills would necessarily have an appetite for him, but should he get moved? Is he still good? What is DJ Moore right now?
Yeah, he's in an interesting spot. I honestly think there's some parallels to kind of like the Stephon Diggs stuff, right, where you kind of have that innate talent, really special player, but then you start to, drop yourself in an offense where there's other really good players, and the coach and the quarterback spread the ball around more, and they feel like, hey, I have this alpha, identity. DJ Moore coming into the league with Carolina, where you're seeing 10+ targets a game. So it seems like there's some trouble in paradise there, that he's not too happy. But I do wonder if he was in the right spot, if he could feel reinvigorated. But there's just so few of those moves that happen mid-season where the wide receiver drops into the situation and immediately improves their fantasy outlook. In general, you kind of want the static situation. So that's a tough one right now, but you're certainly underwater on where you drafted him based on his performance.
And last one for me, which is one I threw at Bulldog earlier, and he gave me a good answer. He gave me a business answer on this. Start 2 of the 3. Igbuka, Quentin Johnston, Justin Jefferson.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny that I haven't really been thinking about Justin Jefferson much, just because he's not on the main slate this week, and that game is, a 38-point total, which is pretty insane. But, man, I think for me, and it does seem crazy, I'm probably sitting Igbuka, which just doesn't feel great because he's been so good, but I do think he's been over-exceeding in the touchdown department. We also get Chris Godwin come back, immediately match him in target share, 91% of the routes, no limitations whatsoever in his first game back. I just feel like the Igbuka, miracle touchdown train has to stop at some point, and I think you still feel really good about the QJ volume and obviously Jefferson's volume. But if someone wanted to say sit Jefferson in that super gross game, I wouldn't think they're crazy.
Thank you for not thinking I'm crazy.
I will go by which will make me feel the worst if I'm wrong. And I don't know. I guess that's Johnston, but yikes. What a good problem. And this is a Puka team who's already in the bank with his regular 24 points or whatever that was last night.
Oh, I know this genre of start-sit question is just trying to show off about how good your team is. You don't actually care about the answer.
That's right. Let's see. Jalen Lane. Let me think of a few. No, I'm not going to waste your time. Peter, thank you. Any questions for us?
No questions for you guys. Actually, no, I do have a question. Who's scoring a touchdown next Thursday night? I'm going to go place the bet right now.
Theo Johnson.
I'm going to need a little more time on that. I haven't gotten to that yet.
Theo Johnson. They were asking me last night because it was immediately it's Tanja. It's all right, what's next? Jed Bartlett style. What's next? And I'm like, maybe Theo. Giants, Eagles.
Mike's always ready. I have a whole system, Pete. I got to go through. So
yeah.
He's going to watch you first.
One